Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Mann Travels today. We are actually going to review Undiscovered North American Vacations today with the Globus family of brands. And our friend and partner, Eric Kelly, has a lot to talk about today. We'd really love for you guys to plan now and travel later. That's our big, push, because 2021 is filling up because of what happened in 2020. So now's the time. Eric, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Billy. Thanks for having me this morning. We're awful excited about introducing some of our new programs for 2021. This has been a year to end all years, and hopefully this one will end sooner than later. But we anticipate there being a great interest for the United States and traveling closer to home for next year. So we rolled out some new programs. I have 9 new itineraries to share with everybody, but we'll go ahead and get started and talk about some of the new things we're adding and kind of what escorted touring is all about, who Globus is as a company, but let's get rolling. So here you see, this is all the information about our company. This has the 4 different brands under our umbrella. So Globus has been around since 1928. We are a fully escorted company with 2 different brands doing escorted travel. We also do independent travel and river cruising. So here you see 511 vacations in 511 in 73 countries. Globus was started in 1928, Cosmos in 1961, Monograms and Avalon both in 2003. So those are the 4 brands that we have. Globus is first class, Cosmos is budget, Monograms is independent, and Avalon's a river cruise. So it gives you an idea of the breadth of product we have all over the world. We were doing 6 continents. We always said, well, one day we'll do 7. Well, now we are. We've added Antarctica to our portfolio, and we're very excited about that. But this gives you an idea of who we are and kind of some of the things that we do. So when you look at escorted touring, so much is already included with the hotels, the transportation, the tour guide, meals, entrances in the must-see sites. And these circles at the bottom will give you an idea of all the different things that we bring to the table. All the included features, as I just mentioned, great motor coaches that we utilize. And we'll talk about protocols here a little later in regards to how we'll be safer with our motor coach travels, the number of passengers that we anticipate. Things are in flux right now, trying to determine what our best path will be. But the great motor coaches, our motor coaches are long enough or large enough to hold 55 passengers. Now, we only put 44, and that's currently, that will change moving forward as protocols dictate. Our hotels are in with Globus are in the city centers. They're superior first class or above. And I think the most important aspect of an escorted tour is probably that center one with the VIP access. With escorted touring, you have the ability to get into the sites, experience it. You don't wait for the lines. I mean, if you were to do the Roman Colosseum, you could be in line for 2 hours plus. And that's one thing that you don't want to do on your vacation, is stand around and wait in line. But if you're going to see some place like Colosseum, that's very important. We are able to get into that site, experience it, get out, skip the lines, and then move on to something else like the Forum or other destinations. So it really gives you more opportunities to see things on an escorted tour. I think that's one of the misconceptions about escorted touring. By being able to get in and get out of those must-see sites, you have that lot more freedom during the day. So you're able to do more, see more, experience more. Our travel experts, our tour guides, another key aspect of an escorted tour. They have an average of 14 years with us. They know the area. They know all the history, the hidden secrets of that destination, and they really bring the destination to life. And we really hang our hat on our tour guides. And of course, we have Wi-Fi in the motor coaches, kind of a new feature over the last few years. People want to stay connected via social media. And it's a great way to really punish your relatives when they see you in the Grand Canyon and they didn't join you, so you can kind of say, so look where you should be and where you're not. So really nice to have that Wi-Fi and have that connectivity while you're traveling. So very important. Here's just gives you an idea of the motor coaches that we have. Again, they'll hold 55 passengers. We only put 44. Our average tour size is 36. And again, that will change moving forward. That's the current kind of situation we're in, but we know that will change moving forward. And then, of course, Wi-Fi on the motor coaches, as I mentioned before. So I am going to stop my video, and then we're going to move forward a little bit. So far from ordinary, close to home, undiscovered North America. So as I mentioned before, these are the programs that we're rolling out for North America so that we can cater to that market now. Until Europe opens up or other destinations, this is one of the areas we want to kind of focus in on. So simply put, a tour is perfectly planned vacation package. There's nothing easy about planning a vacation. The research, the planning, reservations, and logistics. Add the currency conversions, language barriers, and you have one major project on your hands. A tour handles all the hassles while you have all the fun. So really important why a escorted tour is so important. There's no driving, no navigating, no crying. The tour eliminates all the logistic hassle by arranging transportation around town, between cities, and just for fun. Aboard our luxury motor coaches, you'll even have access to free Wi-Fi, as I mentioned. Our tour delivers both daydreams and restful nights. What does that mean? A tour includes pre-screened brand name hotels with the right address, the right amenities. Globus hotels are always first class and above. Tours skip the lines. The tour offers a pre-planned, pre-purchased itinerary with VIP access to the must-see sites. Globus travelers skip the long lines and walk straight in. Again, by being able to do that, get into a site, taste it and see it and take photos and enjoy it. And then you're out onto the next destination. Most people don't have that. They're traveling independently. Seeing the major sites at a destination is only part of the equation. You can partake in a tango lesson in Argentina, bake your own scones in Ireland. These are local favorites. In each one of our itineraries, you will see a little LF. That's a local favorite. That is an added little extra special thing we do at no additional charge. And when you look at any of our itineraries on our website, you'll see that little LF noted, and that's on all Globus tours and some of the things that we add in on the day-to-day itineraries. Our tour director, an expert who lives and breathes the destination, shares their knowledge with you. Only a seasoned tour director brings the sites to life and the fascinating stories behind them. Meals are part of the deal. Tours typically include many meals to minimize costs and maximize time. Globus likes to include experiential dining too, like a working lunch at an Argentine estancia, or dinner at a Sicilian farm, a cooking class at a Italian villa, different things like that to really bring that experience to life. So high-level tours save you two things: money and time. Tour operators have the buying power that individual travelers simply don't, saving them up to 40% of purchasing everything on your own. We eliminate the lines, include must-see sites, get photo ops, and you'll have more free time to relax and explore on your own. And since we're talking about hotels and moving on to top-notch transportation waiting, now's a great time to highlight the free Wi-Fi in the motor coach. So we talked about that, this ability to stay in touch with your family and friends via social media. On a Globus tour, getting there is half the fun. Sure, you'll be on a motor coach, but you'll also be on planes, ferries, high-speed trains. On a tour, you are traveling, not just getting from point A to point B. So if you're in Northern Ireland, we'll put you on a ferry across the Northern Channel to Scotland. In Italy, you can board a scenic train, ride to the beautiful seaside resort of Santa Margherita after an included boat ride off the coast of Cinque Terre. In Argentina, you can embark and cross into Chile by cruising across the Andes Lake. And when you're not traveling by planes, trains, and automobiles, you'll be riding in comfort of deluxe modern motor coaches that afford unmatched views, locales that you're traveling through. For Globus Transportation, it's not just a logistical component, it is really part of the journey. So go further, not farther with our family. And this really talks about our program here in the US and Canada and some of the new things we're doing. When you travel throughout the United States and Canada with the Globus, we'll take you down the less traveled highways, the legendary lanes, the scenic roads, to the special places, parks that other tour companies don't visit. You won't spend hours online trying to figure out where to go, where to stay, what to see, how to get around. We take care of the logistics, from first class hotels and luxury transportation to VIP access at the iconic sites. Globus has seamlessly planned your journey to a T, so you can sit back and enjoy everything from sweet tea in the south for us to poutine of the north. Now, Cosmos, for nearly 60 years, Cosmos has shared the world with savvy explorers, travel-minded travelers from the Yukon's last frontier to bluegrass country of Kentucky, from Alaska's remote Inside Passage to windswept Oregon dunes. Cosmos brings you closer to sites you have always dreamed of visiting. With a professional tour director, guided sightseeing, must-see sites, seamless transportation, of course, comfortable, clean, attractive hotels. Cosmos introduces you to the undiscovered nuggets closer to home. It's easy to turn, wish I could, into glad I did. When adventure is knocking, Cosmos makes it easy to open the door. So that really talks about the two different programs, the two different products, I should say, that we have here, Globus and Cosmos in North America. Again, Globus is our first class escorted product and Cosmos is our budget escorted. So two different price points to look at, really great products that have been around for a long, long time. Right home about home. So between North America's breathtaking national parks, cool emerging cities, and tiny historic towns, there's a surplus of sites you haven't seen in your own backyard. With bucket list vacations for Canada, to California and Yakima, to the Yukon, we invite you to fetch a pail of wonder as you discover the undiscovered right outside your door. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. Across the 50 states and 10 provinces, there are countless wonders to see right here in the United States and Canada, with familiarity, ease, possibility, even shorter flying times. Touring is the best way to discover North America. And I love that picture there with, surely looks like the Smoky Mountains there of North Carolina. So touring is the best, easy as apple pie. Searching for hotels, mapping out logistics is no picnic. Our perfectly planned tours include hand-selected hotels, streamlined itineraries, and expert tour directors erase vacation hassles while promising discovery and wonder for all. Steering clear of the drama. Not only does touring North America eliminate long flights, it completely eliminates driving and backseat drivers. Aboard our luxury motor coaches, you can sit back and enjoy the dramatic scenery, stress-free ride, and free Wi-Fi. And it's about time. Those long lines you've heard about and most popular attractions, don't worry, you won't be standing in them. We arrange VIP access, as we've mentioned before, to all the sites so you can mosey in, marvel, and move to the next must on your bucket list. As we speak, only escorted tours include a tour director, an expert who lives, breathes, and speaks the language of your destination, from French Canada to colloquial rich areas of the U.S. Your tour director will open doors while breaking down any language barriers. Must-see sites from a Kentucky hot brown lunch to an overnight stay in Sedona's Sky Rock Inn. Our tours include exclusive must-see sites. These curated experiences introduce you to what's special about a region, as well as the unique specialties. So one thing we want to kind of focus in here is the touring safety protocols. Safe and warm welcome, blending cultural proximity and social distance, focus on guest and team member health, touching hearts, not hands, commitment to clean, and partners in discovery and in health. So today's world has changed, as we all know, but what remains certain is our commitment to guest safety, comfort, peace of mind while traveling in the U.S. To that end, with help of our global health and safety team, we have established a worldwide assurance program with enhanced on-trip protocols and procedures to ensure the health and happiness of our guests throughout their travels with us. Safe and warm welcome. We will enact our new tour check-in procedures and pre-trip health screening to offer a safe start to their journey, including adherence to social distancing requirements. We will ensure safe distances for our guests throughout the journey on coach during excursions. This includes providing masks to our guests, including at any time where social proximity should be an issue, as well as the possibility of reducing group sizes if required. And we know that we're already doing that in our exotics that we do, say Africa or Australia or Asia. We're already doing small group discoveries of 20. Initially, we have a tour in Israel that will be max 20. So we're anticipating as our protocols move forward that we will have fewer passengers on the motor coach. Like I said, we typically do 36 passengers, but we may now be doing 2 motor coaches with maybe 18 passengers spread out throughout the motor coach. So again, we are still examining those protocols moving forward. To ensure the healthy environment for our team and our guests, we will conduct regular temperature checks for both guests and our team. And when necessary, masks will be worn by our team when with our guests. Touching hearts and not hands, traveling with Globus family brands removes any touch points, many of the touch points of travel, including luggage handling, check in and out, expedited entry into attractions, and more. We are further reducing risk with hands-free services, including a self-services replaced by staff, including buffet meals replaced with table service, and we will ensure hand sanitizing available throughout each trip on coach and in hotels. Our commitment to clean is part of our commitment to clean. We are requiring enhanced cleaning procedures with our hotel partners, on our motor coaches, vehicles, and throughout every trip, including additional daily disinfecting procedures that go above and beyond our already strict health and safety procedures. And partners in discovery and in health. The Globus family of brands has a strict health and safety protocols, which we have been in place for years, focused on ensuring all aspects of our operation, from vehicles and equipment used on the trip to excursions and hotel procedures. This process will continue with new elevated health safety checks to maintain our promise that each touch point of our tours and cruises are considered in our commitment to guest and team member well-being. So again, that's such an important slide right there to make sure that you understand what we're doing to make sure that we're keeping our customers safe and our employees moving forward. So with all those details, let's talk about some of the different itineraries that we're doing. Get into the fun stuff. So this is Quebec in depth with the Gaspe Peninsula. These are 9 of the new itineraries that are added to our portfolio. So again, we have all kinds of different vacations outside of these, but these are the new ones we're adding. So just wanted to be able to share those with you. Here you see a wonderful itinerary starting and ending in Montreal. You head north, work your way up to the Florian National Park, where you'll do a day cruise. Work your way back down, come back through Saguenay Fjord, do another cruise out in Saguenay Fjord. You'll do the 3 nights in Quebec City. You'll see the 3 there. That's the number of nights. So green is the start city, red is the end city. So you see the 2 nights in Montreal, that's where you start. Wherever you see a number, that's the number of nights you're in a location. And if it's just a circle with no number, that is just a stop during that day. So you can see that you have 2 nights up at Paris, and then work your way down with the 3 nights of Quebec City. Now you'll do a day trip up from Quebec City up to Saguenay Fjord, and do the cruise, and then head back to Quebec City from there. So you can see that one. So, and here on the right, you'll see on each slide some of the must-see sites. You'll do a traditional fromagerie, do a cheese tasting. You'll do go to the Estevan Lodge. Well, it was a home to Elsie Redford. She was a pioneer of Canadian horticulture. And then, of course, you'll see do a whale watching on the Saguenay Fjord, and that's part of that trip out of Quebec City. So nice one there in French Canada. It's time to cross that bridge, New England and Hudson Valley. Look at that beautiful trees changing colors in the fall. Great time to area, and this one will cover quite a bit. So this is 2 nights in Boston with a stop with an ending in New York. 2 nights in Boston, as I said, and you'll do the day trip out to Concord and Lexington. You'll stop in Salem as you head up towards Portland. 1 night in Portland, stop in Freeport, work your way over through Jackson, 1 night there, down to Ludlow. And then you do a day cruise up on Lake Champlain. 2 nights in Lake Placid, come down through the Berkshires, stop at West Point, and then Tarrytown and down to New York. And here you have a chance to see some of the highlights there, taste some of wonderful Vermont maple syrup. And one of the most picturesque and photoed lighthouses in the U.S., Nedick's Nubble Lighthouse. So you have a chance to take a picture of that. And then, of course, you'll have a chance to enjoy New England cuisine at the Concord Colonial Inn. And it just celebrated its 300th birthday just a few years ago. So again, a really cool itinerary there up in the Northeast. One of my personal favorites, I like the fact that we added this. I don't know if it's because of the bourbon, but Bourbon Bridals and Bluegrass. It's an 8-day tour that we have, and really excited about this tour. I think this is going to be a very, very popular one here. So it starts in Louisville, Kentucky. You'll go down, stop in Frankfort with 2 nights in Lexington. You'll have a chance to go over to horse country. There you'll have a chance to go to the Old Friends Thoroughbred Retirement Farm. This is where a lot of the rescue horses are taken and have a chance to live out the rest of their life and not race. That'll be done in horse country there. Then you'll have a chance to go down to 2 nights in Asheville. I love that town. That town has really become quite popular, very eclectic. It's got a great music scene, lots of microbreweries. And you'll have a chance to have a bite of lunch at Antler Hill Village Restaurant. It's kind of a farm-to-table restaurant there. And can't miss the opportunity to do a bourbon tasting at the Buffalo Trace Distillery when you're up in Frankfort. So once you leave Asheville, then you'll go through the Smoky Mountain National Park, have a chance to stop there, and also in Cherokee. But the 2 next stops, Chattanooga and Nashville, both terrific. Nashville, of course, the music scene, great restaurant scene there, and traffic. Boy, do they have a lot of traffic up in Nashville. I lived up there from 97 to 2003, and it just changed quite a bit, very popular. But Chattanooga, that little river town has grown quite a bit. Wonderful restaurant scene there. Ever since they built the aquarium on the river, that town has really taken off. It's very quaint. It's a great stop between Nashville and Atlanta, and I really do like this itinerary. I think it's going to sell quite well for us. And it's one of those ones where you might be able to do it, drive over from the Carolinas, hop on, do one of the tours. I have somebody doing a whiskey tasting, and they're going to take the whole motor coach and just make it from Louisville to Louisville round trip. So that's maybe even an option there if someone's interested. So Reach for the Stars, our Southern California Charms itinerary. This one's kind of interesting. This one is in and out of Los Angeles.
Eric.
Yes.
I'm sorry. We do have a question that you were just kind of closer to the Carolinas, and a question popped up. Has Globus or Cosmos created any shorter itineraries for domestic trips, like a long weekend or anything like that?
Well, you know, that's a wonderful question, because if you had asked me that question maybe 2 weeks ago, I would have said no. But our Monograms program has just added some single city stays, and Nashville will be one of those single city stays. So, of course, Monograms is not an escorted tour. That's our independent, but a brief explanation of Monograms is we do the hotels, the transportation, you have a local guide at the hotel, breakfast each morning, and then they help you with optional excursions. They're also listed on our website before you go. So someone could do just a single city stay of Nashville. You get the city tour the first morning, breakfast each day. You have access to that host. So that's kind of what we're doing as far as answering that question. But there won't be really any long tours
Sure.
or, that would be, traveling, say just around Nashville and maybe Memphis. I know we do have that one tour that does Nashville, Memphis, New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a little bit closer. But I think monograms in the single city states here in the U.S., which we haven't done in a number of years, will kind of scratch that itch, I think.
Sure. Well,
Does that answer
thank
the
you so
question?
much.
Oh, my pleasure. I think that's a great question, actually. So this is, again, out of in and out of Los Angeles. You start in Beverly Hills for 2 nights, cruise down to San Juan Capistrano, 2 nights in San Diego, have a chance to go over to Coronado. What's cool there is the chance to go to San Diego's Old Town, do a wine tasting in Temecula. And one of the national parks that we're going to, one of the newer ones we've added is the Joshua Tree National Park. Really cool. So you'll stay at Palm Desert for 2 nights. You'll have a chance to go out to the national park, stop in Palm Springs, and then work your way up to Paso Robles, Pismo Beach, 2 nights in Santa Barbara, and back to LA. So you'll have a chance in Joshua Tree to do a 4-wheel drive tour. Always kind of fun to do those. And that's one of the included features that we do on that particular program. Los Angeles, excuse me, give me just a second here. This is the Lost Canyons of the Southwest. I briefly want to tell people that are on that we partner with the National Park Foundation. We've been doing that for a number of years. And for anybody that takes one of our national park tours, we give money back to the National Park Foundation. And now we also sponsor the National Park Firefighters. A good ways for us to give back to the destinations that we travel in. So this is a very cool itinerary. I like this one because it does a lot of the rail trips. It starts in Phoenix for 2 nights up to Scottsdale. And then here you go up to Montezuma Castle, the National Monument, 2 nights in Sedona. So now you're doing a couple of narrow gauge rail trips. The Verde Canyon Railroad. You'll stop in Jerome so you can do the trip. Then the 2 nights in Sedona, which are just a wonderful destination. Very mystical destination there. Head up to Meteor Crater, up to Winslow. Then you go to Canyon de Chelly National Monument. And in Canyon de Chelly, you'll do another 4-wheel drive there. And then work your way down to Williams for 2 nights. Take another rail trip up to on the Grand Canyon Railroad up to the national park. Stop at Hoover Dam, Boulder City, and then up in Lost Wages, Nevada. So we have a chance to make a donation in Las Vegas. Now, with any of our tours, you can add additional nights on the front or add additional nights on the end. Just to make those requests, and as long as they're available, we'll add that. Especially like if you're going to end up in Vegas, you can stay for a couple shows just to spend some time out there. So you can turn that 1 night into a couple nights if you'd like. You'll see on the right the different must-see sites like the Canyon Railroad that I mentioned, Montezuma Castle National Park, a great historical destination there, and then the 4-wheel drive there also in Canyon de Chelly, as I mentioned. So I think that would be a very fun trip with the rails. We do have a couple of trips that focus on rails around the world. We do the Swiss Alps by rail. It's a Cosmos tour that is really, really popular. And we also do historic trains of the Old West that has 3 different rail features on that tour. We also can combine that tour with the Albuquerque Balloon Festival. Always a big seller for us when we do that. That's not a new tour for us, but always been very, very popular with the train enthusiasts. Mining for Memories, the Alaska and the Yukon. Mining for Memories, this is a 12-day itinerary. You'll see this is starts in Anchorage, down through Valdez, over to Talk. You do a tour in Prince William Sound, do some whale watching. Down to Whitehorse, gives you a chance to go down to Skagway for a little bit. Up to Dawson City for 2 nights. Then you cross over the top of the World Highway, heading up towards Fairbanks. 2 nights in Fairbanks, which is always a really cool destination. It's as far from Seattle to Anchorage as it is from Anchorage to Fairbanks. And I think people get a sense of how far it is up there. But take the Alaska Railroad down to Denali Park, just a super beautiful trip there on the Alaska Railroad, and then end up down in Anchorage there. So Mears Glacier is a chance to see all the wildlife there. You'll do the Alaska Railroad into Denali Park, and you'll even stop at the Iditarod headquarters. We do a special tour during the winter months where you could go to the Mushers Ball and attend the Iditarod. So very, very cool. That's a seasonal program with the Iditarod in the winter, but this is one of our summer programs there also. Where the magic happens is the Western Canada itinerary for 13 days. I'm going to just go back here. Look at that beautiful glacier water. I just absolutely, the green and the blues. It's wonderful. This is a Cosmos tour. I just wanted to make sure you had a chance to see that picture. I went through it too quick. A very cool itinerary here, 2 nights in Vancouver. Then you go over and do 2 nights in Victoria. You do a little, the ferry across. Head up towards Port Hardy. You'll take an inside passage cruise up to Prince Rupert, 2 nights there. Then a rail trip to Prince George, 2 nights in Jasper National Park. Go down to Columbia Icefield, which is cool because you'll have a chance to do the Ice Explorer on the Columbia Icefield, down to Lake Louise, which is where that picture was taken, down to Banff. And we stay at the Fairmont properties in Banff National Park. Those and Lake Louise, those are the #1 property to stay in that area. 2 nights in Banff and over to Calgary from there. Of course, you'll have some wonderful fishing, chance to eat some great halibut up at Prince Rupert. And then you'll do the inside passage. Those are some of the highlights on that particular itinerary. The coast is clear, exploring the Pacific Northwest, 12 days. This starts in Seattle, ends in Portland. You'll go over to Leavenworth, you'll stay in Yakima for a night, stop in Hood River, 2 nights in Bend, Crater Lake National Park. And that's one of the highlights there. Have a chance to go to the what do you call it? The caldera, the collapsed volcano, drive around the rim there, down to Medford, over to Florence, great seafood in Newport, do a cheese tasting in Tillamook, great cheeses there, up to Astoria for a night, and then end up in Portland. So kind of a really neat itinerary. And again, remember, you can stay additional nights on the front and additional nights on the back. And the last one we want to talk about here is the Country Roads, Scenic Drives, and Patriotic Pass. This one's a little closer to home for us, 12 days, a little bit of a longer itinerary, but you can see how much this covers. In and out of Washington, D.C., and you'll head north out of Washington, go up to Gettysburg for a night, have a chance to go out and see the battlefield there where Abraham Lincoln did his famous speech, down to Harper's Ferry, a lot of historical sites on this particular itinerary. Beckley, Shenandoah National Park. Again, go down to Kentucky Horse Park. You'll see where Man of War and Secretariat got the Triple Crown. Down through Kentucky, over to Gatlinburg for 2 nights, a chance to visit Smoky Mountain National Parks. Another great visit in Asheville. Always fun to stop there with all the, as I mentioned, the microbreweries and the music scene. Mount Airy, where Mayberry was modeled after. Up through the Blue Ridge Parkway, stop in Lexington, stop in Monticello and Richmond, Colonial Williamsburg, 2 nights in Williamsburg, and then up in Washington, D.C. So a long tour, but lots of historical sites to see. I think this one's going to be really, really popular because it is close to home and kind of round trip, anything round trip up in one city also always makes it easy. Whether you're driving to that destination or flying to it, you're in and out of that destination. So just so that we know what some of the specials are, and come back, everybody. So right now we have to save 10% on our vacations for next year, $100 per person on our Cosmos trips. So lots of good promotions now available for next year. The peace of mind. So I am going to read this real quick so that you guys know exactly what this is. This is a program for 2021. And what this does is really gives you peace of mind for next year. So when the world is ready, we will be ready to deliver the world to travelers. Risk-free, hassle-free, worry-free, and strings-free with our new 2021 Peace of Mind travel plan. This complimentary plan will be attached to all 2021 vacations or bookings, giving travelers like you the flexibility to move vacations to any 2021, 2022 date, destination, itinerary, or even another brand in our vast travel portfolio. No penalties, no problem, as long as the booking is moved before final payment. That's the key aspect of that. So up until final payment, which is typically 2 months with all of our land tours, 3 months with Avalon, you can completely move your vacation to another date or another itinerary to another product. So you're not locked in. It gives you a lot of flexibility to make those plans. With our 2021 Peace of Mind travel plan, we are helping you ensure the money you've invested with us is yours, and your travels take you exactly where you want to go when you're ready. So I wanted to make sure I read that verbatim, because that's very, very important moving forward, and people wanting to book a vacation, not feeling like they're locked into it. They have that ability to change it, move it around so that they have that peace of mind with their vacation dollars. So I think that might have covered it there. So I know we're probably running a little bit over, but a lot of good information there to share with. So
Absolutely.
are there any other questions to talk about, Billy?
Any other questions? Anybody can use the chat feature if you would like. The peace of mind, really does allow you, again, to plan now and travel later without losing, money. And so
You're not locked into it per se. So you can
correct.
pick and choose, take advantage of the promotions that are in place. And then if
Yep.
things get a little wonky again, then you have a chance to move that forward to maybe a safer destination in our portfolio. So if you're thinking of doing a Washington, D.C. program, now you can end up going maybe to New Zealand instead. So we move it to any branch. You're not locked into that, and it gives you that flexibility to really plan your vacation and move it if you need to.
Correct. So I do hope that you're seeing my screen. Eric, do you see my Mann Travels logo? I've been having issues
I do.
with that, so
I do.
just wanted to make
I
sure
do.
that was up. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to our agents about any of the Globus family of brands today or in the future. I'd love to thank everybody for joining us today. Eric, for your time. I really appreciate it. And
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, you're very welcome. I hope you all stay safe and have a great day.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.